Welcome everyone to my review of Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. If this video is the first time you hear about this game, then I'll just say that it's exactly as weird as the name suggests. For once, this review is going to be mostly spoiler free. Don't worry, I won't spoil the story. With a title like that, you wouldn't necessarily think there'd be a story, but there is. Not a huge or detailed one, but there is one. You're obviously playing as Turnip Boy, a turnip living in a glass house, who can only speak in punctuation marks in intervals of 3, not paying his property tax. Mayor Onion shows up and makes Turnip Boy his assistant to go get some increasingly questionable items for him, so he'd look the other way about his taxes not being paid. When there's a macaroni who just recites a slightly friendlier version of the Navy SEAL copypasta. The humor is mostly on point. There are some references to stuff, though not as many as in Henry Stickmin. I don't think that will be topped anytime soon. Since I'm trying to keep this review spoiler free, I'm gonna leave finding out how you get from collecting fertilizer for Mayor Onion to finding a nuke in a mafia stronghold up to you. You're gonna meet lots of characters, like half of whom will give you side quests. It's not at all required to complete any of them, but if you do, you more often than not at least get a funny line or two you otherwise wouldn't have seen. You will have some weak enemies to fight every now and then, but be aware that they all respawn if you leave the area and come back. They can only ever drop a heart, so if you're not short on HP, it's not worth it to kill them. Just trip out of their way. Oh yeah, there's no sprint, but you can trip some distance in the direction you're facing. And there's no invincibility frames, so you could be destroyed very fast. There are some puzzles, most of which are quite easy. You use a water can to complete them, later unlocking more items to use in puzzles. This is the basic gameplay loop. Receive quest, get item it once, go back, repeat. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I'll talk more about it in the achievements chapter. You don't really play Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion for the gameplay, you play it for the jokes and achievements. Speaking of achievements, hello and welcome to Achievement Scope, the new segment I'm introducing to Mici reviews moving forward, to talk about a given game's achievements and how insane you have to be to 100% it. I want to turn this segment into its own series where I dive into games' achievements. Oh, and this is the one segment that includes some spoilers. You can 100% the game under 4 hours. It has that going for it, however, it requires so much backtracking and grinding. The map isn't that big, but it gets much bigger because of the constant backtracking. Of course, you have to complete every side quest, and after the game ends you gotta grind about 50 tickets in the endless boss fight train. That gets quite tedious, but it certainly could have been much worse. Achievements I think are notable are Taxation without representation, for which you have to be the final boss again, Fashionista, collect all hats, which means grinding and beating all side quests, 3 question marks, the rarest achievement, you gotta reach a certain point in the endless mode. Inspired by Foco's excellent video about 110 games he's 100%ed, I'm gonna put the games in Mici reviews in a tier list, ranging from baby tier to suffering plus. I've even ranked the games I've already made a review video about, and Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion goes into the easy tier. Not hard at all, but it does feel tedious sometimes because of the backtracking and grinding. All in all, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a short, humor-filled, laid-back experience. There are of course some cons, which you see now on the screen, but it is overall an enjoyable game. Is it worth it, you might be asking? Is it worth €12.49 in my opinion? You might not expect me to say this, but no, I don't think it's worth that much. If it was longer, I'd say it's worth it, but at this length I'll have to say no. However, on sale it is absolutely worth the money. What about the score, you might also be wondering. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion gets a solid 72 out of 100. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a very solid and funny experience, and if it's on sale I absolutely do recommend you pick it up. That's it for this review. If you liked it, be sure to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye everyone.